Hello, how's everybody doing? I'm a minute late, I apologize. All right, if y'all can hear me, make sure. It's okay, Dennis. We understand. Work is important, man. Got to make it. You understand. Elizabeth, welcome. You already got your drinks and had your snacks. Good. Urias, welcome. Good to see you. Cara, welcome. Good to see you as well. There are quite a few people in here already tonight. I apologize for being a few minutes late. Went to turn on the lights and realized they weren't plugged up. Stupid me, right? Jesse, welcome. Good to have you here and welcome to the channel. Ms. Weeks, good to see you again. Hello, Felicia. Good to see you as well. So as y'all can still see, I'm still in the downstairs office. Now, it has been storming today, so hopefully we don't have any connection issues or anything. I think it might be letting up. We'll see. Watch me say that and it just get worse. Halloween, welcome. Good to see you. Oh, thank you, Jesse. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. I really am. Appreciate it. Thank you. Magician Girl, welcome. Good to see you. Made it. Andrew, good to see you made it as well. Nope, totally understand the professional email requirements, Halloween. Totally do. That's awesome. So I have had a very, very interesting week here. I've been trying to attempt to get more information on the Fae and also been working with the Norse a bit more this week. And trying my best to go through, and I've noticed that YouTube doesn't necessarily, if you ask a question that's already in a conversation going, YouTube has a tendency to not let me know that question was asked. So I've been digging around trying to find any of those that I've missed to get those answered for you all. But also been working on a whole new batch of videos, of which one is to keep the Fae series going, so that we'll see more Fae videos coming out. It's just been a very odd and busy week for me. There's been like no real pattern of work. It's just been so chaotic, but a lot of fun at the same time. Can't say it's been boring. Oh yeah, we're always happy to have people here, Car. Definitely happy. Thanks for dropping by, Jacob, and thank you for the like and the comment. That definitely helps the channel out. Appreciate it very much. Also, everybody, we do have a super chat. These have been getting busy, and if I miss a question or something, I apologize. I try to keep up with it, but if it's an important question and you want to make sure I see it, the super chat, it's like $1, $2. I'm not sure exactly what the minimum is, but it'll like flash it up on the screen here real big, make sure I don't miss it. Or if you just want to make a donation, that's possible. You can do that too. There's been quite a few people who choose to do that, and for everyone supporting, I do thank you. It helps to keep the work going. Well, thank you, Eris. It's been interesting because I don't really, over the years, I never really worked with the Fae intentionally. It's more the dragons. They're like, hey, we're working with the Fae over here. Come on. So I learned a lot about them. And when I started the channel, I was getting asked about books and stuff. And the only person I knew who really put time into trying to find them was my wife. And she's always had an issue with it too, but I read through the ones that she considered the better books that she had. And I realized there's not a lot there. So that has actually become almost a pet peeve for me, because I've learned so much from the Fae and I've enjoyed working with them greatly. And it bothers me that the information gets so sketchy, especially for beginner style material. So I'm really looking forward to getting some of these videos and then having, the Fae actually be like, hey, we're going to want you to set up an actual path working. That's going to be a big task to undertake, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's really nice to dive in and start getting to know the Fae on a deeper level than even I have over these years. So I'm enjoying these videos as much as you all. Car, I'm right there with you. Honestly, dragons have got to be my favorite entities to work with. They really are. Hey, Bernaldus, good to see you, man. Good to have you. You see that? Yeah, I understand why you'd be afraid. Due to the way the Fae law works and everything, they can be the trickiest to work with, and let's be honest, sometimes the easiest to get in trouble with. But once you understand understand their way of thinking and the way they work, which can take time, but they are fascinating entities to work with and so much fun. Dennis, my man, thank you. Whoa. $20 super chat, man. We appreciate it. I'm amazing. All right. Appreciate that too. I do the best I can, man. I highly appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, no, I'm glad the videos are actually helping people to reach out and try to get to know these entities. They really are fascinating. And I do know the path workings are going to deal with the lords and ladies of the Fae. So for me, that's exciting because I'm not sure I've met but maybe one or two of these entities. So this is going to be a whole new ballpark for me, just working through this and getting the opportunity to meet and work with these entities to make the path working. So I'm super hyped about this particular path working and this project that the Fae have set on my table. What's a good grounding to use for shadow work, Magic Malango? Ooh, that's a toughie. See, this is why this is a toughie. Shadow work starts. It's like stirring up a mud puddle. You can calm the water back down, but it don't always clear fully, not for a while. So when you ground, it's like you're calming that water, but some of that's still churned up there. That's the point in shadow work, because you are churning that up. So even when you ground, you're still going to be dealing with it. Myself and about 30 other magicians have actually tried to find a grounding that you could say it's after your shadow work, you ground and you're good. But so far we've not, and the theory stands that that's basically the nature of shadow work. It churns it up to the point that it's always going to be there, so that you kind of face it in small doses as you go through your day, not just during the intense workings. That said, the two best grounding types that I have found for shadow work is like stone or crystal grounding, where you actually hold a stone or a crystal, something solid and stable, physically tangible and tactile, and use that to ground. There's something about having that physical stability and tactile object in your hand to ground with that brings a certain comfort to the grounding process that really does aid in that shadow work process. The next one that I find really works is what's called earth grounding or even root grounding, where you reach into the earth itself and you ground into the earth. Again, it's that large stability concept you're grounding with here. Those are the two that seem to function the best for most people, because it does give them that stability that does help that shadow work process, and make it easier to deal with. Because any of us who's done shadow work, it's not fun. It's not an easy process. Is it healing? Yes. Is it beneficial? Yes. But it's also a little bit like smashing your thumb with a hammer intentionally over and over for however long you're doing the process. Arnoldo's, what might be some ways you could enchant an item without putting any of your own energy into it? Honestly, it's the same way you would do spell work, Arnoldo's. You want to collect the energy from an outside source and pull that in so that you're utilizing that energy. Now, your ability to control energy is going to come into play here, because kind of like water, clean water moving through a pipe, it's going to pick up something that's in the pipe no matter how clean the water is traveling through the pipe. So it's really hard to absolutely say zippo, zero, nada of your energy if it moves through you or past you in some way. So the best way to leave your energy out is for you to be in one circle where you can contain your energy. And then you put the item to be enchanted outside that. And you start pulling that energy and directing it to the item or the table or work surface where the item is. And you're funneling that all down into the item. So you're keeping your energy separated, but you're filling the entire room with the energy current you're wanting to use and push into the item. This does take a bit more effort, concentration, and focus than standard energy work, but it can be done. And that's really the best way to see to it none of your energy overlaps it. Yeah, there's that actually is a version of the earth grounding, to walk around barefoot on the earth in grass. And if you do have that option, it's a great form of earth grounding to use. Magic Girl Nana, can you do? Yes, you can. I actually think I have a video on coffee magic on the channel. Actually, it's one of my more popular ones. Even I actually want to do more on it because there's a lot you can do with coffee. In fact, one of my favorite things, people laugh. If I'm traveling, it's not uncommon to catch me at a diner late at night or early morning. I'm just like staring at my coffee cup, and people think I'm just half asleep. But I'm actually using my coffee like a black mirror to scry. You can also use it for potions. You can use it for elixirs. You can use it as a spell component, oils, sprays. I know one lady uses it in a few of her different varieties of Florida water. But yeah, coffee is a very versatile magical ingredient. And it's so far, I've not found an entity that doesn't like it as an offering. So that really comes in handy in my practice because I always got good coffee lying around. But it's great for earth magic and fire magic. It's great for working with spirits. It's great for trance work, cleansing, banishing. Let's see what else. Healing magics, prosperity magics. Oh, what else? What else? What else? There was another one. I'm forgetting one. But yeah, it can easily be used for magic in those categories. Yes, Dennis is correct. Everybody, make sure you're leaving a like on the video if you're here. It does help the channel out. Helps the algorithm know the channel's actually liked and popular, and they keep spreading the word so we can get the information out to people. Because that's the goal, to get this information out to as many seekers as we can. And actually, you can even read coffee grounds the same way they would read tea leaves. There's two methods. You can just read coffee grounds themselves, or you can actually read, some people refer to it as the coffee oils. Some people refer to it as sediment. But if you use a French press with no filter or anything, at the bottom of your cup, there will be the heavier oils and stuff, and the coffee can settle, and it creates a pattern just like tea leaves. So you can read that as well, not just the coffee grounds. Great questions. So, and the good news is I am making better progress getting to know the Sealy Queen, or Tatiana as most people know her, or the Summer Queen. So I'm finally starting to make some leeway there to get to know her. So that will definitely help with the Fae workings a bit more. That's been both tense and fun at the same time to get to know her. I always love that period where you're first getting to know an entity and really learn about them, even if it's an entity that, it's a tense session of getting to know them. That's always one of my favorite periods. Oh, it is. It is. It really is. In fact, my morning magic routine starts with my first cup of coffee. My first cup of coffee, I sit there quietly, I ground, I center, I shield, and I actually meditate and clear my mind. And I start sorting through the just random noise in my head to zero in on my focus for the day while I'm having that first cup of coffee. And that's one of my favorite daily magical rituals, and it's one that I never miss. So yeah, that morning cup of coffee, that is a ritual, and it has a lot of magic behind it, even if you're not using it that way. But I figured since it's already there, I was going to, ramp it up and use it as much as I could. Young Lion, what is the next dragon video about? If I'm not mistaken, and I'm afraid to say this, hold on, let me check my phone. I think I got it here. But I want to say the next dragon video is one that I've got a lot of people been asking me about. Yep, the next dragon video is Cora Legra, the ruler of the dragons of water. That is one that I've probably been getting about 10 messages a week waiting on that girl. So yeah, the next dragon video is going to be on her. We are also working to get a very old ritual that I was using before I really dove uber deep in with the 9 rulers, and they taught me the Dragon's Flame ritual, which is a draconic version of the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. I'm actually working on a video to get that up and share it with the channel. For those of you that's in my Patreon channel and as supporters, you already have a copy of it because we posted it there for the Patreon members. So I don't know exactly when that particular ritual will hit the channel, but it was a very integral part in my practice, and it's not really going to be something that's going to be in the classes per se, but so many people do love that ritual. It's a ritual that I do want to make sure it's shared with you all because it is such a wonderful ritual and can be a versatile one as well. Oh, Peachy, I knew you'd be happy to hear Cora's video was coming. I'm glad you're learning a lot from them, Cara. I really am. It's good to hear that. I'm trying to get more of them up. We are trying to get more of the Norse videos up as well. Next month should be a good month. We actually have a video where I'm going to discuss Loki a little, not just Cora Allegra, but we're going to be discussing Loki. So yeah, we got a lot of videos coming, and I'm getting ready to film a new Fae video. So what's my favorite protection ward? Oh, that's kind of hard. Well, see, a lot of the wards and stuff I use are very customized, and they can get complicated, and I don't know how to explain some of them, so we have to push some of those aside and let's think about this. And so for like my hat here, one of my favorites that I do make sure is in all my hats is I do use the Golderstaff style magic from Norse Magic, and I use the Helm of Awe, which is a protection symbol, and I make sure that's always on my hat. But I also do a lot of mental and psychic protections as well. So yeah, good. So yeah, it gets reflective. But that is probably my first go-to anytime I get a new hat. Is always going to be the Helm of Awe. So for my hat, that's definitely probably it. For my coat, what would be my favorite one on the coat? Oh, that's a there's actually two that's my favorite on my coat. One is it's a specific sigil or that was given to me by the dragons that I'm not necessarily able to share. That one always goes into my coat, as does protection runes, specifically Thuraz. I love Thuraz for its protections, and I always make sure that there's several different bind runes, including that I work the Thuraz rune into for my jacket. I hope that answers, because I put so many on both items. It really does get hard to narrow it down. But good questions. I think that's a smiley face doing a peace sign. I'm not sure. So I was hoping that the Zergaroth print would actually be here before the stream. It still hasn't got here. It got delayed. And now we got storm warnings and stuff, so we will see. But I'm hoping it'll be here before next Friday's stream, so we'll be able to show what that print came out looking like. What do you mean you don't know what to say? What's the surprised face for? Am I missing something? Let's see. But it is up on the store already if you are interested in, if you're trying to collect all of them. Oh, Cara, go ahead. Ask a question. That's why we're here. Normally I do a lot more focused work, and I got a bit more I can talk about with my research. Like I said, this week's just been a little odd. Foot's itching. But yeah, go ask away. That's why we're here. Just try to keep them, like 17-ish in rating. But yeah, always happy to take questions. So I did get a lot of comments on Magical Coffee Hour's topic last week of self-mastery. It seems that was a pretty popular topic last week. So that was great to hear so much feedback on that particular topic. And it's great to actually hear so many people getting interested in it and pursuing it too. So let's see. Oh, uh, magician. I really don't know. I don't. Um, yeah, there's been so many things over the years that I could put into the crazy category. I'm not really sure I can narrow it down to craziest. Um, though probably the one that might stand out the most to me is the Evocation Accident when I first tried to do a full evocation of a dragon. Um, it worked, but there was repercussions. I've told that story a few times. That might have been one of the crazier moments in my particular practice. Though traveling the plains with them over the years, it's just been way too many crazy things to just pick one. Let's see, Jesse. My video so far. Awesome, Jesse. That's great to hear. Yeah, that is great to hear. That is something the Dragons channel to me, oh man, 5, 6 years ago ish. And they've had me keep a lid on it for so long. And that's something I've been wanting to share. And once they finally is like, okay, you can share it, you can talk about it. I was ecstatic. I could not wait to get that out there because of its versatility and just how much it does amplify magic in all aspects. So I was really excited to share that one. And it is great to see so many people using it and getting great results with it. So, yeah, that's awesome to hear. Oh, that's not a long question at all, Cara. No problem. The ringing in your ear can be a few different things. It can just be the energy around the altar that you're picking up on as your arcane senses are opening more and more. And you're just adjusting to that energetic pressure that you're experiencing. It can actually be an atmospheric pressure too, because as you're working with magic, the energies you're working with can actually have an atmospheric effect, similar to like going up a mountain or coming down a mountain. And that can generate a ringing in your ear. And thirdly, it can actually be your arcane hearing is picking up on the literal sounds of the energy itself or even entities, because energy currents do have a sound to them. You can actually learn to identify energy currents by their sound if you're, well, gifted enough with sound. I'm tone deaf, so I can hear the sound, but I wouldn't trust my ear to identify them. Or it can actually be a vibration that's put off by the dragons because they do vibrate a lot. A lot of people even describe it almost as a purr, but it does often create a ringing noise. Any ideas on not to be scared by your co-mag? Pick yourself up, buckle down, and just face it honestly. Because as you all know, when I first met my co-magician, I thought I done screwed up bad. Me and him did not see eye to eye on things for a very long time, and for a very long time, yeah, I was scared of him. I was hands down because I really thought, due to the way Conway presented her works, and I didn't have much experience back then, I thought I done went screwed up, done something bad, and but I'm also stubborn, and one thing I've never allowed to control my life is fear. So I wouldn't back down from him. I'd look him right in the eye, and I'd continue to work with him. And over time, I got comfortable around him, around his energy, and I got to know him, and the fear just faded that way. As far as any other way than just work with them, get to know them, I really don't know any shortcuts when it comes to it. Because if a dragon's presence scares you, there's really nothing you can do about it except just get used to it. There's I'm not sure I understand your comment. Because the person wants to leave. I'm not sure I got that one. Did I miss another part of that somewhere? Let's see. Oh, no problem, Jesse. Like I said, I was happy to be able to share that finally. I've been waiting for that day for a long time. Yep, that's it, Ms. Weeks. That's right. There's a lot of people who look for that ringing. Oh, no problem, Car. Happy to help. That's one of the reasons I love doing these streams is taking your all's questions. Actually, working on the Dragon Magic 102 course, I've been spending a lot more time in the Dragon realms proper. And man, I forget how little time I spend there these days. And it's really great to go back and visit the Draconic realms and get to wander around and see how things have changed. And that's one thing about getting to do these path workings and these classes, even for the school or the channel, because there's things that my current practice I don't get to do as often as I'd like. So this gives me a chance to go back and revisit those things. And it's still just as fascinating and fun as it ever was the first time around. Oh, did it disappear? Look at that. That's okay. That's weird because usually I don't know where. Okay, apparently YouTube it disappeared on us. No big, no big. Hey, Mathis, man, good to see you. Glad you was able to make it, man. What do you mean by writing letters? You mean like writing a letter in a journal or energetically writing letters in the air? I'm trying to make sure I understand this. But your guardian dragon and your co-magician, once you get to know them some, they should give you a sigil to help contact them. But if you can give me a little more clarification on that question, Car, I'll be happy to answer it. Get a little more coffee too. That might help. Coffee always makes things better. Yeah, actually, I do know a few people who do that. They'll write letters to an entity they've worked with or met as a way of connecting and talking to them. And it does work with the dragons as well. So it's especially when you're starting out and you don't really have that good, solid trance communication going. That can be a great way to communicate, and it allows you to put more energy into it. The only downside is it doesn't seem to work as well until after you've reached out to your guardian and your co-magician and met them. But once you have met them, yes, it's a great tactic for starting out. Though I would still encourage you to construct an Arcane Sanctum and work on getting that real-time conversation going in your sanctum at the very least if you can. Thanks, Mathis. Appreciate it. This is an old hat I've had up in the closet for a while. But the summer heat, I dug this out, and it's a much lighter one than the one I usually wear, so it was a helpful find. So, yeah. Welcome, Hellcat. Thank you. So far, so good. We're having fun up in here now. Hopefully, we keep having fun. That's the goal. That is the goal. So, we are still working on the Norse class. I'm still trying to decide if I want to do it as a large class or break it into some smaller classes. And I think the only way to finally settle this is to sit down because I have the outline done, but we are wanting to cover, rune magic, golder magic, and seed magic, and the different variants of them. Now, rune magic is so massive, I mean, absolutely massive, that I could probably do it in a full class. But the other two, I don't know if they'd make up a second half or not. So I'm trying to see how exactly best to put that together to get it up on the school for you all. I don't know if Accessing the Realms is in that book, Felicia, and I'm not sure if that's something I'm allowed to necessarily give out just yet, because that is something the dragons got me sticking into the 102 class. I don't even remember how I first got there. Man, that's been so long ago. But I am wanting to do a video on the Draconic Realms coming up. But the basic method would be I'm sure I can go ahead and tell this because this is literally the video I'm playing, and they ain't said nothing. So you would use the Dragon's Eye Seal as a gateway, and you would open that gateway with the focus on the Draconic Realms. But to open that gateway, you actually need at least 4 of the rulers and have already built a solid relationship with those 4 rulers, as well as your guardian and co-magician. Otherwise, you can't open the gate. That would be the basics on it. Oh, put your mind to it, Mathis. It'll be great. Actually, Felicia, most of the stuff the dragons laid out for the path workings that I have really don't follow a lot of Conway's works, interestingly enough. It's drastically different. She does use a very ceremonial Wicca-like process, which is an interesting combination. But and I'm not knocking it because clearly that's where I got my start. But it's been so long since I've read the books, I can't remember exactly everything in them. But yeah, the main ways that I teach my students to work with them is in meditation, trance work through their astral sanctum, contact evocation. Then I move them into astral evocation, and I do move them eventually into full evocation. But I also do a lot with journey work, where they actually journey into the primal planes, which is the first place you actually start working directly with the elemental rulers, is on those primal elemental planes, because they want to keep the draconic realms closed off for a while if they can. They're still sketchy about letting people in. Yeah, Jesse, sigil work is a great way to do it. Definitely. Yeah, Mezowit, Taking Up the Runes is a deep book. I mean, it's massive. It is the book I most recommend. It is massive, but it gives you so much information, so many perspectives. It is hard to take it in. It really is. But as far as a book that I recommend, that's usually the go-to. And it is because of those multiple perspectives. Very few authors give you or very few books give you the multiple viewpoints. It's usually, you get my viewpoint and that's it. And that really shortchanges people when it comes to the runes. So it's a deep book. And one of the things when I teach the runes is I give a basic outline and concept of what the runes, some kind of key words that you can start with quick. But more importantly, I teach you how to dive into the rune individually and work with it directly to get gnosis and information directly from it. So you don't have to go out and buy a whole library of books just to study the runes. In some ways it's easier, in some ways it can be a trickier process, but it does take the rune worker further in the end, if that makes sense. The Arcane Sanctum, is that the place you're talking about? The Arcane Sanctum is a place on the astral realm that it's literally your own little pocket dimension. You create it yourself, you shape it, you have access to it. It's kind of your little secure spot. There is a video on the channel. Just search Arcane Sanctum. It'll pop up. Talks about what it is and how to create it and set it up for yourself. It's one of the best ways to start with journey work and trance work, because in order to get to that level of visualization, you're automatically going to slip over into that trance state. And building it is going to help maintain that trance state. And the more you interact with it, as you interact with it, you're also training all your arcane senses. And it gives you a really easy place to make contact with entities. So it's so versatile, and it's such a handy training tool for beginners. I recommend everyone set one up. Felicia and Time, they'll pretty much start showing up pretty regularly as you get to know them. Like the rulers will walk in and out of my house, granted in their humanoid forms, because you ain't going to fit a ruler's toe in my house. But they will just walk in and out regularly through my house. Same thing with pretty much most of the entities I work with. And if you keep your senses open like I do, they will just walk in and start talking to you, which is one of the things they do with me. And it's kind of nice. It really is. You never get lonely when you got friends that can just walk in and start talking out of nowhere. Well, Arcane Sanctum and reaching out to your Guardian Dragon and then your Co-Magician card is a great way to do it. If you know Dragon Magic is something you're interested in, do pop over to workingdragonmystic.com and check out the Dragon Magic 101 course. It's a full video course, in depth. Everything's laid out in details. But there's enough on the channel also where you can meet your Guardian Dragon and your Co-Magician and do some of the basic rituals already on the channel. And like I said, I'm wanting to get more up there soon. Mathis, you'll get there. You'll get there, man. It can take time to develop those senses because you do need the arcane senses developed well to be able to perceive them. Even when you evoke them to the physical, you still need your arcane senses to perceive them. Lauren, no need to worry. No need to apologize about being late. Dinner's important. Dinner is good. See, everybody agrees dinner's good. Yeah, the rituals she does, they do work. They can be a little complex, and they do work. So, I mean, I know a lot of people don't like her works. Like I said, I really can't say that because that's where I got my start. I'm thankful for them. And I actually shared my research with her a few years back before she passed. I'm a little sad she didn't get to see my work published. That does kind of sadden me. But yeah, her rituals will work, and they're not a bad place to get started if you like the ritual style. Andrew, yeah, we do have a Discord, everybody, and there's should be a link below the video here. You can join the Discord, and there's usually a lot of conversations going on. Lauren, you're finally getting able to enroll? That is awesome. Congratulations. I'm so glad. No, Lauren, that makes sense. I mean, I'd get my arcane sight trained up too if that's where you're at before you jumped into the other stuff. That makes good sense to me. But it is good to hear that you're actually looking to do the Dragon Magic 101. And for those of you who jumped in at like release date, I'm hoping to get Dragon Magic 102 published soon. I still don't have an actual date, but I am still hoping to get it up soon. But I know no one's done with it because, well, even the people who got early release, I know they're still working on it. So I got time. But that is awesome to hear, Lauren. No problem, Felicia. I'm happy to help. Like I said, Conway's works, that's where I started. They are difficult because every book seems to contradict itself. So it does get confusing. The only thing I came up with is I usually recommend the middle one, which was Mystical Dragon Magic, because it seems to follow at least a pathworking style method that seems to flow better than the other two. But as long as you're able to read through the books and, tweak and do a few changes for yourself, they work really well. Mandy, that's actually an interesting one because I was working at UPS at the time in the freight facility. And I ended up having a conversation, like 50 people saw the guy, saw me talking to him. But the thing about it, it was an international freight facility, so you can't get in without IDs or anything. And we realized the guy didn't work there. A lot of people saw him, but no one knew who he was. That got security involved. And when they pulled the tapes, they could see me talking to nothing, and they could see people walking around nothing. And that conversation actually was based around dragon magic, which was something I'd never heard of in my life. I was still new to magic in general, but I've never even heard of that in any of my research. And they gave me the title of the books. So I'm dense. Y'all know I can be dense. But as dense as I am, looking at that video, seeing what I didn't see, I looked the books up, and that's where I started my path. That's when I dove in. I reached out. I looked into dragon magic, and I fell in love with it. I really did, almost instantly. I just fell in love with it. And that may still to this day be one of the creepier things that's happened to me in my practice, because so many people witnessed it, and it's just no one can even begin to figure out what the hell happened there. To this day, I'm still convinced it. I know the guy was a dragon, obviously, at this point. I'm not 100% sure which one. I have a few guesses, but yeah, that's what got me to pursue it. Yeah, when you do finally see a dragon, you gotta just let that flow. You can't start trying to explain it away. Oh yeah, we're on Discord. There's even a voice chat. I try to pop in quite regularly. It's actually one of the easiest ways to message me. We got a great community over there in the Discord. I'm really proud. Everyone is willing to share and talk, um, and really help each other out with things. So I'm really glad everyone's been really nice and polite in there so far. I have very few rules on the Discord, and so far everyone's been pretty chill about it. Hopefully we can keep that record up and keep things respectful and wonderful in that community. Yeah, you need to make sure the kittens are paid for there, Eris. Yeah. If I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I apologize. Years. But don't worry, it's not going anywhere. The course will be there. So take care of your kittens and get it when you can. That's one thing I love about the video courses. It allows me to make the classes available, and you guys can work through it on your time schedule. When I was teaching one-on-one classes, scheduling was a pain. And I just had a lot of people who couldn't take the classes they wanted due to schedule conflicts. So my wife pushing me to go technological has really allowed me to reach out and help so many more people. Okay, I'm happy you found my channel too. I always find it great when people find a practice or at least information that can help them learn more and pursue their path. So I'm glad you found it too. Magic Malangle, not as often as you might think. In most cases, they do not. Other than the mysterious dragon who said, go find these books, I'm trying to think here. There's a small guardian dragon that showed up on his own that helps me with research. And that was pretty much it. He showed up. It's like, hey, I'm a guardian dragon. I'm going to be helping you with your research and cataloging. I'm like, okay. Great little guy. You've heard me mention him a few times. Valen is what we call what he has me call him. He looks like Mushu, honestly. I wanted to call him Mushu. He won't let me. I still want to call him that. And then there's two other ones, a black and a red one, that wandered in when I was doing research unrelated to dragon magic, but they wanted to help with the research anyway. Those are the only three that's really wandered in without me looking for a specific dragon. Now, that said, once I've met them and befriended them, they tend to wander in without me looking for them all the time. I mean, there's been plenty of times I've walked in my office and one of the dragons is just sitting there waiting on me, or walk downstairs. I mean, you get used to it after a while. You just expect to turn a corner and a dragon be there. I know this sounds weird, but that's my life. Lauren, that's a great way to do it. Read as much as you can and take what is useful to you. I mean, I go back and reread books, even if I don't find them useful, because after a few years, you're going to grow and change. And when you reread the book, you may suddenly find a nugget of information in there that just jumps out at you. Which has happened to me with a few different books. But yeah, definitely, you know, I love to read, and I try to read a lot of metaphysical books. Which that's a great thing about this channel, is I'm hoping to get to read more and be able to review them. But you do have to take it with a grain of salt. And I always tell people, seek results and application. Don't just read it and take someone's word for it, but actually apply it and see if it works for you. And also feel free to tweak and modify it as needed. Like path workings, I will do the path working as true to form as I can the first time through. But after 2 or 3 times doing a ritual, I'm already thinking, how can I customize this for me? Okay, I'm getting a little bit behind here, ain't I? Okay, no worries. Actually, I did ask Angus. It turns out it was not Angus. Anubis, what are the plans for the future of my channel and Discord? Well, the Discord, we're going to continue building up the community. I've actually considered doing some guided meditations on the Discord, as well as even perhaps a few just kind of voice chat, lecture talk kind of things, potentially. We've also talked about potentially doing a paid kind of one-shot lectures with the school. That's been in the works and discussion, you know, very focused on certain topics like evocation or something. As far as my personal practice, I am looking to obviously work more with the Fae. I do have a Cliffothic path working I got to get finished. But that's on hold until the 102 course is finished, because I need to put all my focus on that path working when I do it. As to the channel, I am wanting to continue videos on dragon magic. I'm wanting to get more on Norse. I'm also wanting to cover entities. And I'm wanting to cover lore videos on entities as well as modern gnosis on them. I don't think enough people talk about the modern gnosis and what the entities are like in modern day. They just look at the past. So I'd like to do that some. I'm hoping to do some videos where I share some of my old cryptid and paranormal investigations. Oh, and I'm actually thinking of adding some more like camping survival video style things to the channel, because getting out in nature in the woods and having those skills, in my mind at least, is very important and a very handy and powerful thing to add to a magical practice. I know a lot of people don't view them as magical, but the ability to get out there and connect with nature at that level, on like a survival skill level, I find to be very powerful and helpful to a practitioner. So I'm considering doing some videos on that, and even talking about some of the stuff that I would use and when I go out into the woods. Yeah, once you take notice of the dragons, they tend to just kind of, they're there. It's like, oh look, this thing's here, and it just snowballs from there. Oh, well, they definitely can seek you out before you seek them out. I mean, that's hands down what happened to me. But it's just by the majority, I'm always so proactive. I don't. If I get bored, I do magic or research or something. So I'm proactive. I don't think I give them the time anymore. Car, I don't blame you. Dragons are absolutely fascinating. They are. They just, there's no way around it. Um, they are. It's been years. Oh God, I honestly can't imagine my practice without them at this point. So yeah, I can understand people's obsession with them. Well, it's it's considered a guardian by its age, young lion, but it's not your primary guardian. Your primary guardian or guardian, it, like if you end up with a pair that first time, that will always be the guardian. But the younger dragons that would still fit in that category would still more or less be referred to as that, but they're usually there for a secondary role only, if that makes sense. When I say the books contradict themselves, so if you read through DJ Conway's three Dragon Magic books, she says things in a definitive manner that end up contradicting the definitive manners. So she ends up contradicting herself in different places. One example is the word Monte, actually. She actually changes the meaning of that word two or three times, I think. Um, she even changes the roles of certain dragons at different times through the books. Um, like even the tools, like in the first book, she's like, you got to have this list of tools. And one of the big ones was always the sword. You got to have that sword. Um, and then it just kind of disappears after that. So there's just little contradictions like that through the process in those books that a lot of people keep coming to me with. And they do get confusing because they're contradictions that make you question the validity of the ritual or make you think, am I doing something wrong? Um, and I don't know if they were written in there on a purpose to make the magician think. I don't know, but they're in there. Yeah, if you're not paying attention for them, you might miss them the first time or two through, but they are in there. Well, Laura, if you ever get the nerve to drop in and say hi, I do, because honestly, most of the time we're just in there talking about random stuff going on in life. Occasionally, we get into a deep metaphysical discussion. Happened the other day, but it's a lot of fun in there. Every time I've been in there, everybody's been really nice about it. So, pretty good group of people. Okay, well, good to know that there's an interest in it because, I mean, I did say, some of the things I view as a magical life, some might, but that's really something that's been it's just been eating at me. I want to do some of those videos and share some of those skills because they are important. So, and I mean, survival style skills is the best word I have for it. I'd like to find a better word for it, but I do think those are important for a practitioner to know them. So it's actually good to know you guys would actually be interested in it because I am doing this work for you all. I mean, it's great. I love creating the information and sharing it, but I also want to make sure I'm getting out information you all actually want to see in a timely manner. What can a newbie do to get themselves ready for magic? Meditation, 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 meditation. Meditation is hands down the foundation of magic, and that's any magic across the board. You need that focus, the visualization, and the discipline. So meditation is hands down the best thing you can do. And then from there, I would move into developing your arcane senses. Those are the best prep work you can do. Uh, Currently, the only books I can recommend, Mandy, is DJ Conway's. They're the only ones that are out there. And I know it's funny because I'm just sitting here saying, they tend to contradict themselves at points, but that is where I got my start. And even though people find them very light and fluffy and whatnot, they are currently the best works out there. I know a lot of people's asked me to write books. I'm going to attempt it. Right now, I don't have them out there, so that's not going to help me to recommend. So either Conway's works or Dragon Magic 101, the video course that we already have. Very straightforward, easy way to get started into Dragon Magic. And the 101 course is only $30 for a massive course that takes you through an entire detailed path working. So you meet your guardian, you meet your co-magician. There's an entire path working that you bond with them and get to know them. And then there's a path working with each of the first 4 rulers. We talk about different rituals, the tools, and even how to start creating your dragon tool proper. So that one class could replace all 3 of Conway's books, really. Or at least I should say that's what people's told me. They feel it replaces all 3, I should say. And we do have there's going to be a series of those Dragon Magic classes coming out. That's just the first one, obviously. Can people? Yeah, yes, they can. People can have Fey blood, though it's getting thinner and thinner because the ability to blend the races or species has been cut off for, I want to say 200-300 years ish. And I don't know if the Fae's ever going to open that possibility back up. But yes, family lines definitely can have Fey blood in them. So it is possible for a person to have Fey blood or Fey ancestry in several different ways, actually. Thorn, yeah, I mean, learning history alongside magic is actually helpful. I do enjoy it. I do, it helps to understand the culture that the magic's coming from because it can give you an ideal of why they're utilizing the methods they are, and how they develop their systems along with that. And well, I mean, I love history in general, so I'm a bit of a nerd there. But that's one of the reasons I want to do both the lore and the modern videos. Jesse, I am considering it. I do have more trouble organizing my thoughts when typing or writing. I think I'm just too self-critical of my typing skills, but I am currently in the process of looking into doing one or anywhere from 1 to 3 Dragon Magic books myself, because I do know there are people out there who prefer books over the video courses, and I am trying to get the information to as many people as possible. So, yes, we are looking at getting these path workings and this information into a book format. No real date on the project. All I can do is say we are looking into it, and it's looking promising. It is looking very promising. No, Jesse, I make sure all the courses at the school is very affordable. That's one of the things. My mission is to make this available to as many people as possible. So I give as much as I can on YouTube, and then for the deep dives that I can't put on YouTube, I still keep them very affordable. That is my goal for every class I put up, period. That's kind of my mission and my goal, and that's the benchmark I set for myself. Because I know when I first got into Magic, I didn't have money. I didn't have a lot to spend, and researching it got expensive. And that's one of the biggest complaints when people come to Magic, and I'm dead set on making it available to people. Oh, Lord Peachy, are you already? Oh, Peachy and Malango. Oh, that should be fun. Andrew, I know angels and demons can, but those are really the main ones I know of. So, but I mean, those are very broad categories. So, there's a lot of different entities that would fall under those categories. Even Fae, I mean, because there's a lot that falls under Fae. But I don't know. I've never actually sat down to categorize it. That's an interesting question there. It might be definitely worth looking into. Young Lion Man, appreciate that. I really do. Gonna make me blush up in here. Let's focus, please. Oh yeah, we're going to try and focus here. I think I'm actually getting caught up with the chat. Yay me! Oh, thanks, Jesse. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Yeah, I've picked up a lot of books on Dragon Magic over the years to try and continue my research. There's one called, what is it? Land, Sky, and Water, or no, Land, Sky, and Earth, something like that. Earth, Land, and Sky. It's very, very Draconic Wicca, not Dragon Magic. It's just more Draconic Wicca. And it's a fascinating read, really, because the guy actually talks about his personal Wicca practice and how he incorporates the archetype of the dragon through that, and different meditation practices he uses. But it's not dragon magic in and of itself. And we're getting a lot of really new age books that I don't know where they're coming from, because like one of them flat out says all dragons are celestial beings like angels. And it's like, I've worked with celestial dragons, but that's a very small category of all dragons. In fact, I can't think of, well, a Luminescra. Luminescra would probably potentially count within there somewhere. But that's a pretty broad statement to make. Now, I do know people who's worked with these books and they've gotten some pretty good results in their path because it works with their style, their personality. But on the broad spectrum of dragon magic, it's really narrow. And you're seeing more and more people who they're not wanting that narrow base and they're wanting something. Oh, I'm just going to have to use their terminology. They're wanting something that's not as light and fluffy and just, what is it? The goody two shoes. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it because everyone has their own path. And if you're, like I said, I'm big on results based. So if you're getting the results you want in your life and you're happy, kick it, go for it, rock on. So, those do have their place. It's just, as far as just the down the middle dragon magic, I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a lot. And that's one of the reasons I was complaining about it one time. And the dragons are flat out. It's like, well, we gave you this massive path working. Why aren't you publishing it? We told you to publish it. And it's like, well, I'm trying. And like, stop complaining. Stop worrying about others. Go publish what we gave you. So they kind of called me out on my own shit on that one, which I'm glad they did. Oh yeah, there's a lot of demigods and many a myths. Jesse, man, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad people are liking the channel. I'll be honest, I actually did not expect the channel to get as popular as it has. Y'all surprise me day after day. You really do, and I appreciate it. Hey, Matilda. Yep, you made it. We're still here. Andrew F. That's oh man, that's a good question. I honestly, the best way is you really have to pick it up and read it yourself, or go to a bookstore, find it, sit down, and flip through it while you have a cup of coffee. Beyond that, one of my favorite little tricks of the trade has become, oh crap, what is it? Amazon Unlimited. So I can certain books and titles will be in their thing where I can just download it for free and I can have up to 10 that I'm reading at a time. So I flip through a lot of books that way, and books I'm unsure of, I always make sure to get them on like a Kindle or something like that. So they're cheaper. But other than that, all you can really do is check out the reviews on the book below and pay attention to what the author's talking about. And you kind of get an idea of the terminology that these the over-the-top New Agers, because there's some New Age authors that know what they're talking about. I can't just say New Age itself, but the over-the-top ones, that's like, you wished you hadn't bought the book. You know the ones I'm talking about. And you just kind of got to look for that terminology and kind of the over-the-top, everything is beautiful, everything's love and light, nothing ever goes wrong in life, those kinds of things. Those are usually the things you're looking for, because the big thing, especially if you want to work with dragons, that they'll teach you is growth comes through confrontation. It comes through the hard times. That's part of that balance. You can't have the good without the bad. And it is those hard times that allow us to grow. So if someone's talking about the absolute utopia, nirvana kind of concepts, they're not preparing you for the growth stages. And I know there's plenty of people out there who's going to be like, "You're a damn fool. You don't know what you're talking about." But in all my experience and research, it happens. Most people who go down those roads end up very disappointed indeed because they trip, fall, stumble, and they don't know how to deal with the hard times. And those hard times are important to us because that's what you learn your magic for. You learn to be able to control your life and be able to rise above those hard times and still prosper. And they in turn help you grow and push you further. So it is a dynamic balance that's always happening there. But unfortunately, trial and error is usually the best way still to this day. The best way to make contacts with dragons, in my opinion, is through trance work and using sigils once you get them. I know a lot of people don't have sigils right away. But yeah, using trance work is actually the best way to do it. It facilitates better contact with them. Um, Honestly, I've never heard the dragons talk about that at all. I have checked out his channel. He has some interesting philosophies. It does feel a bit more religious than anything I do. Dragons themselves do not view themselves as deities. They don't even like the viewpoint. Very few dragons, most dragons will downright give you the ugly eye if you refer to them as a deity. Tiamat's one, she don't mind it. She understands why she's viewed as a deity, but at the same time, she's still her. So she is one of the ones that won't give you the stank eye for calling her a deity. The 9 rulers, they do not like it. But if his path and methods is working for him, again, your methods are working and the dragons you're working with are doing fine, yeah. But as far as are you required to be awakened by a dragon god, I have never encountered that at all. I have students who came to dragon magic strictly out of pure curiosity. No awakening, no nothing. They didn't know a path. And actually, one of them seriously just threw a dart at a board and just listed off different paths that they might take. And they just start studying. So, I mean, it's one of those things. If his path works for him and others, it's wonderful. Great. I have no problems with it. But as far as that one statement there, I've never found that to be true of anyone seeking to study dragon magic. At least as is laid out by especially the working with the 9 rulers in their paradigm. Have I worked with any deities from Japan or China? I did years ago work with some from Japan. I don't think any from China. I can't even remember who it was. It's been so long. Which, I kind of feel bad about because one of my mentors was Japanese and he was real big on his culture. So I am wanting to look more into the Japanese entities sometime soon, actually, because there's actually a family project for my mentor that I'm wanting to, his mother's asked me to look into. So I will be doing that in the future, hopefully very soon. But nothing that I would be any real good use sharing. Hindu, I've worked with a few Hindu deities, mainly as I worked with clients. I needed to reach out to the entity because of the client. Ganesh being one of the bigger ones, one of the ones I've reached out to the most, as well as Kali. So those I don't really have I won't say I don't have a bad working relationship. Anytime I work with them, it went well. But that friendship level that you hear me talk about with Odin and all these other entities, I don't have it with them. I pretty much work with them only when necessity arises. And yeah, bad Drake. I know I really should have worked more with the Japanese deities, considering my mentor. But the opportunity just never came up, and well, now it's actually on the table for me to do more with it. So hopefully you'll all be hearing a bit about that during these research and ramblings when that gets underway. So, because I know his mom is not going to be patient and wait around too much on me. That's just not her style. Okay, we should probably get ready to wind up. So if you have any final questions, go ahead and start typing them. I'll make sure to get to those. Also, if you're here and you haven't already, hit that like button. Helps the channel out a lot if you hit that like button and drop a comment. And also join us over in the Discord. We got a lot of great conversations going on over there. Some days more active than others, but we are building a great community over there. And we got another video coming out Tuesday, as always. And let's see, what would this one's be? Let's see. That's the Fae video. So, Cora Allegra. Actually, y'all were asking what the next dragon video is, and that is actually coming out next Tuesday. It is Cora Allegra. So that'll be the actual video coming out this Tuesday. Favorite cop? Oh my God, that's hard. Come on. All right. So if I had to choose one coffee, just one, and it's like, Drake, this is the coffee you're drinking from now on, I'm going to choose Death Wish. I am. Sorry, people. I am. It's just got a little bit of everything that I like in it because it's a good, bold, strong coffee. Great flavor, smooth. I love it. That said, I really kind of keep 3 coffees on hand most of the time. Death Wish is one of them. Then Iron Bean Coffee Company has one called Skulls of My Enemies, which actually is what I'm drinking tonight, which is freaking fantastic. And then the other one is, it's also by Iron Bean. It's called Fear No Evil. They don't even call it a dark roast. They call it a black roast, and it is. So if you love dark coffees, pop over to them and try that one out. It is freaking amazing. And, also try Skulls of Our Enemies because this stuff is good. This is a really good one. So 9 times out of 10, I'm usually drinking one of those 3. Okay, if you're asking can they help you with the getting of pregnant? Yes, they can help very much with that. If you're asking if they can help with the delivery side, they can only help make it easier in aspects. They can't actually, help you deliver it at home by yourself. Don't do that. Always medical attention. Magick is not a replacement for medical supervision of any kind ever. But yeah, as far as if they're, so yeah, they can help with that. Thomas, I'm glad to hear that. That's the whole point. I've really been frustrated with the lack of information on the Fae out there. So I just remembered what the dragons said about their thing, and I'm trying to share what I can to get people some information on the Fae and get some usable and functional information out there. Well, then congratulations. I mean, that's really kind of it. I mean, if you're asking would the Fae have any claim, no. If it's unprovoked or anything, the Fae have no claim over the child. It's just, hey, congratulations, you've been blessed. I don't know if they've done it. I wouldn't put it past them. I know they do a lot of things unprovoked, including helping people find relationships and stuff. They'll do that unprovoked. A lot of Fae actually do like to see people find happiness or try and push their lives in a way that's going to help them prosper and do different things like that. So it's not uncommon for them to do things unprovoked. Malango, I saw the message before you removed it, and we'll talk about that one-on-one because I'm not sure why you would ask that question. Yo, you all are great, man. You really are. So, before I forget, the 5K challenge is still up and going. We are over 2,300 subs. And if we hit 5K by Halloween, or actually the morning of November 1st, I did say that because we all know how wonky YouTube gets with updating the subs sometimes. My wife gets to decorate me up and put me in whatever outfit she feels appropriate to embarrass me. And on top of that, if you all hit that 5K, sharing the channel around, getting the info around, 3 people from Discord, Bernoldus, Peachy, and Malango, have volunteered to purchase 3 Dragon Magic 101 courses, which we will be drawing names for to see who gets these free courses should we hit the 5K by Samhain. I did not ask them to do that. They volunteered that up out of the kindness of their hearts. And I'm still floored at the offer. So clearly they believe in the work we're doing here, people. So definitely, even without hitting the 5K, if you're in the Discord or here in chat and you see them, shoot them a thanks for all that they're doing to help get this information out, because those 3 are being awesome, hands down being awesome, and definitely donating to the cause. Also, we do have a Patreon. There is a link for it if you want to pop over and subscribe to one of the tiers on the Patreon. Tier 2 and 3, we do a monthly spell working, blessing kind of thing. And I do post updates and information ahead of time to them. And they do get early access to classes as well. So there's a lot of benefits over there if you want to do something to support the cause. Otherwise, at the end of the day, the best thing you can do is to like the videos, comment them, and just share them. That's the best thing to help the channel. And apparently everyone's drinking over in Discord. Oh, Lord, help me. All right. So with that, everyone, I'll go ahead and hop off here. Don't forget, we'll be back on here Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a solo magical coffee hour. So if you got questions, bring them. Grab your coffee and snacks. Look forward to talking to you all again. I always do look forward to these streams. You guys are great to talk to, and I love answering your questions. And everyone, you have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you later. Take it easy.